Neki Okoro, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome. Eric Osadolo, welcome. Fumi Jeboda, nice to see you. My Omoiles, Bola Luro, Ngoya Sharis, nice to see you too. Anne Marie, welcome. Stella Nuhu, Shigo, nice to see you. Doris Nkiru, welcome. Anastasia is here. Welcome. Nkiru Jimadu, Shinwe Ananaba, nice to see you. Adeleka Deniyi, welcome everyone. ID Nobu, Shola Lamodi, sorry. Olukayode is here. Nkiru Jimadu. Efrain Soto, welcome. Ernest Ebong, welcome Ernest, Pastor Ernest. Theophilus, welcome. Edwin Amime. Rufaro Ruth, welcome. Steve Osarity, welcome. Bidemi, nice to see you. Omonike, welcome. Ngoya Sharis, again, blessings. She Sandra, nice to see you. Ezinwa, thank you. MJ, blessings. Okay, I think we are ready. We are going to be talking, the topic of today, of course, like you are already aware, we are continuing to talk about analytical thinking. But today I'm going to be talking about the benefits of analytical thinking. So, benefits of analytical thinking. Why do you need to acquire the skill of thinking? Why do you need it? Why do you need it to acquire the art of thinking? So why do we all need to learn the art of thinking? Why do you need to think? Why do you need to learn to think? I'm going to do because this our teaching is with current affairs, all right? So because of the current affairs segment of it, I want to be analyzing and giving you examples and analyzing life situations, how people don't think and how bad and how terrible it has become that we don't think. And especially in church, a lot of people do things in church, even religion has made us, in a lot of sense, to lose our senses, that we don't think. There was a time I was doing a live program here, and there is this famous Nigerian musician that was online that day. I think his name was Mike Aremu or something. So I made a statement that day that people that lack of thinking abilities has really destroyed a lot of things. By the way, let's go and share this. Let's go and share the link. Let's go and share the link, and let's go and share in all our groups as well. So, History Makers, Dr. Sandey Adelajah Live, and everywhere. Let's go and share it. And our messenger, let's go and share the link so that people will know we are on already. So, anyway, I made a statement in that message that we have not been taught to think in churches. That we've been taught to be religious but not to think. And that a lot of people, even in churches, they have turned music. That the church is propagating more emotions and feelings and emotional expression more than the art of thinking. And that we need to be taught to think analytically, that we need to be taught the art of thinking analytically, analytical thinking, critical thinking, strategic thinking, all those kind of thinking that we need to introduce them in our churches. We need to begin to teach people to think. But that instead of that we have overemphasized music. And that, if you go to churches, people won't just want to let you dance and, just be emotional and sensual. So the church has promoted sensuality rather than, thinking ability. And I was saying that, the church is actually making us not to think in some instances. And I want to show you an example of that today. I want to show you an example of when church has made people not to think. Even though people have scriptures and biblical reasons for this kind of behaviors, but okay, I'm going to ask you a question after you see what you see now. Okay, see music in church, see dancing. Okay, this is praise and worship in church. Sorry. You tell me your thoughts about this. So that is dancing. That is dancing in church. All right. So that is called praise and worship. Okay. This is called praise and worship. Just for you to know how much we have become senseless. All right. We call a lot of things that God. We don't even know that we have forgotten that God doesn't ever have anything to do with a lot of things that people do in churches these days. Church does not have anything to do. Look at another one here. Look at another one in church here. People are gyrating in church and saying this is church, right? People are just enjoying themselves. So we have allowed things to happen in church that we think that, and we tolerate them, and we think that this is normal. This is how church is supposed to be. People are dancing, and they even tell you, lose your mind, go and dance like David dance. Like David dance, that is the way to dance. So we use David, the excuse of David, to make people to do rubbish in churches. To just be doing all kind of crazy stuff. You tell me, what are these people doing? Are they dancing to the Lord? Where is God in this one? Or it's just about flesh? It's just about self? Everything is just about self. This one doesn't tell me anything about God. Because people have been encouraged to use emotions rather than to use feelings rather than common sense. People don't have thinking habits. People are no more thinking. People are no more using their logics. People are no more. If it is a party, I understand. But when you call it church, and you say it's church, and you are just doing all kind of, all kind of movement. This is like discotheque. Even in discotheque, some people don't do as much. And I heard right now that people, even pastors, tell people in church to dance like they dance in discotheque. To dance like in the disco, because they have to do it like David, and that if you are dancing in the discotheque like that, you must be able to dance more for God in the church. So people are doing all kind of things, in church, in the name of God. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when we lose our thinking faculties, we are easily turned to animals. And we don't even remember it, we don't even realize it, we don't even think about it. People think that is normal, that it is anointing. But the reason I'm showing you this is because just for you to know that what we do in churches, don't let people turn you into stupid animals. Don't let people make you lose your common sense just because they said it's a church. All right? And I've seen worse things than this in churches, in charismatic church, in churches where people are saying, some of the progressive churches, so-called progressive churches. Now, and I'm sure that some of you go to those kind of churches. I'm sure that some of you go to this kind of church, and some of you even get involved in these kind of things. Now, I don't say we don't dance in church. Come and see our church. We dance in our church widely too. But when you dance in the church, God must be your focus, and God must remain your focus. We dance in our church. You will not even believe there are white people when you come to our church. People dance, people rejoice, but it's not about just having fun. It's not about just you. Some of these things, the reason I'm showing it is because the dancings here is paying attention to the people. He's saying, look at me. This is how I am. Look at, the moves I have. Look at it's about me. It doesn't have anything to do with God at all. So this is an example of how lack of critical thinking and lack of analytical thinking, this is where it could take people. It could take someone. So I don't know what you people, I think since it's a summit that we're having, I think it would be good to hear a feedback from you. Nada сказать им, чтобы еще интернет слабовато, чтобы, не выключило, играет нормально, но може даже не надо трогать, чтобы не поломали. So I think I need to hear your opinion about this. What do you think? The act of thinking, the critical thinking, analytical thinking, do you think what I'm saying, the point I'm making, has something to do with thinking in the first place? Do you see anything overly excessive in practices in churches, and you get involved in it because everybody is doing it? So I want to hear what you people think about it. You want to say anything? Yeah, let's hear Mayowa here. Oh, you need to move this. Yeah. Yes, hello Mayowa from London.
Hello.
Yes. What will you say about the topic we're addressing right now?
Well, in terms of dancing, I actually...
Speak louder a little bit.
In terms of dancing, I haven't thought of it as...
many people don't think about it. It's because you people don't think about it that I'm raising it. Because most of you people have thought it to be normal.
Yes. And even if you're not dancing and moving erratically like this, in church sometimes they will tell you that dance for God and, dance for God and show your gratitude, you're alive. And even when they're quiet, when they are doing the praise and worship, they'll tell you, they'll even mention your name. Sister Mayowa, dance, move your body and,
Is that so?
Yes, they do. So
are you dancing to them?
Yeah, they just kind of like point you out and say dance and do your thing, dance for Jesus. You dance outside in the club. Is that how you do in the club? So, this is in the house of God. Show show God your gratitude. So I really didn't see anything wrong in it until now that you're mentioning it. And although the videos that you showed are a bit excessive, but I'm sure that it happens in a lot of churches more than we can ever kind of like anticipate. So, yes, I see it. I see it a lot, and it's the norm. It's not even about thinking. It's about don't think. Just do it for Jesus, do it for God. That's what I hear all the time. Dance like David danced. You know.
Yeah, you could dance like David danced, but David's focus was God. The lesson in dancing like David was that David was so caught up in God, and his focus was so much in God that he didn't pay attention to people and to the people ridiculing him. He was rejoicing in God. He was caught up in God. But these things that these people are doing, I think they are caught up in self. And if you are even stop pointing to other people that you are not dancing, you are not, it means that you are not caught up in God yourself. It means that you are caught up in each other. You are caught up in people. So David's dance is totally different. So what I'm saying is, if you really want to dance like David dance, start it in your own room, in your own house. You know, if dancing should not be to impress other people. So the analytical thinking part of this is that dancing should be about you and God. It's part of personal relationship with God. It shouldn't be something about you making a show. It should be something about you trying to impress anybody. And it shouldn't be something about other people. It's supposed to be something about your relationship with God. But that is exactly what people are not thinking about. You want to say anything about that?
Yes. That includes me, actually. I haven't thought about it. And sometimes I actually feel guilty when I'm not dancing in a crazy way and I'm just moving. So because everyone else is dancing and moving their body and being energetic for God. You know, even our pastor dances and, you know, move and jump around and
yeah, anybody can do that. But you can dance in a crazy way, but let God be the focus. Let you and God be the focus. I dance too, like in a crazy way. But it's between me and God. God is my focus at that particular time. My thoughts and my mind is on God. Not on, you know, just the atmosphere or the environment or what other people are doing.
Yeah, I guess in terms of distinguishing which one is, you know, focus on God and which one is just dancing to impress people, is kind of left to the individual. So in this case, I can clearly see that everybody is doing their dance style and, you know, dancing to impress each other. But sometimes in church, maybe some people are carried away and like saying that it's the Holy Spirit.
But the fact that you people never think about it is also, it already says that problem exists.
Yes.
If you never think about it, it means you're in it. The reason you never think about it is because you don't even think your dancing is supposed to be for God in the first place. We say it's for God, but we are not focused on God. And if you never thought about it, am I doing this for God or for people to see or for applause or things like that? It means that we never even think this has to do with God. This is just what we do in church. And these are the things that we need to, you know, to restore, to heal, to restore, to correct in the church. And this again is because of lack of analytical thinking. People have rejected their thinking faculties. And these are some of the things that we need to fix. Do you people get what we are talking about, everybody? Are you in sync with what we are saying? Matthew 15:16, Jesus said, and Jesus said, "Are you also yet without understanding?" Jesus is always particular about understanding. Jesus is saying, "Are you without understanding? Are you without understanding?" God wants us to be people of understanding. God wants us to be people of thoughts, or people who think, Homo sapiens. Not just people who do things as emotions. Not just people who do things in response to stimulus or stimuli. We should not just be living our lives based on stimulations. We should not just be doing things because that's what everybody do. You know, I see a lot of things that a lot of, even when people are dancing in praise and worship, some people don't even put their thinking faculty into it. They just say, oh, that no, praise and worship time, so everybody is doing some move and everything. It's just like animalistic living. That's why a lot of people will not come to God. People who are high top, high class, people who are thinking people, they will not come to those kind of churches, because they are seeing this and they are thinking, you know, you people are not serious. You people are just a joke. A lot of people will think that church is a joke if we refuse to think. So even when you are praising God and things like that, you should make sure that your focus is on Him. That is the center of your attention. And He is the one you are doing this thing for. And that's why Jesus said, are you also without understanding? So the reason I raised this topic, this particular one, is because a lot of things that you people, wherever you people are coming from and the churches that you are coming from, you are so used to doing things certain way that, you know, even though you are now following Pastor Sandey, but sometimes you are listening to Pastor Sandey just to add up to what you're already doing. But in the real sense, you know, some of the things that I'm teaching you to do is to think for yourself, is to be able to use your mind. Don't just do things because, you know, because it's tradition. Don't just do things because that's what somebody say you should do. Think how logical this is. And being a believer does not mean to suspend the use of your mind. Don't be in the category and in the group of people that come to God and cease thinking and stop thinking. Don't stop thinking because you are a believer. As a believer, the Bible says that God has given us the spirit, the mind of Christ. And if you have the mind of Christ, that mind must work. That mind is not for decoration. That mind is not for you to put it in the garage before you enter the church. That mind is not for you to pack it out in your underground and refuse to use it. So even in church, you must use your mind. Don't just follow people. Don't just follow leaders. Don't just follow pastors. Don't just follow the crowd. People who follow the crowd are called gray masses or biomasses. You know, don't just be a gray mass. Be an individual. Be a personality for yourself and by yourself. And the thing that will make you to be a personality is by you being present at all time, being in the here, in the now, and thinking, putting your thinking faculty on, being conscious of everything you do. So Jesus, this kind of attitude alarms the Lord Jesus Christ himself. This kind of attitude irritated Jesus in his time. And Jesus challenged his disciples and said, my God, how long have I been with you? And you are yet without understanding? Do you want to tell me that you are still yet without understanding? That is why that particular phrase that Jesus was talking about, that's what I want to build my teaching on today. And you know, in other places he say, everywhere, in many places, Jesus kept on saying, he that has ear, let him hear. He that has ear, let him hear. He's always using that phrase, he that has ear. He's not talking about the fact that people don't have physical ear, but do you have a hearing ear? Do you have a hearing ear that you really hear? And that means that that's talking about understanding. That's the ability not just to have physical ear, but to be able to process the information you are hearing. That is the ability to be able to analyze the information that is coming to you. So analytical thinking, critical thinking is what will help you to be human, to be truly human. And when we are talking about praise and worship, like I just showed today, the focus should be God. Everything is supposed to be about God. You know, like I said the last time, what Hitler said. You remember what I said that Hitler said? That what a joy it is for rulers that people don't think. What a joy it is for rulers that people don't think. What a joy it is for church rulers today as well. What a joy it is for church leaders that people don't think, that members don't think. It could be said the same way. You know, what Hitler said, Hitler is the most wicked person that ever lived. Hitler is the most, is the baddest, you could say, person that ever lived. He exploited the fact that people would not think. And this is his secret. His secret is the fact that people don't analyze, people don't think. So until you begin to think, you are not truly human yet. You are not totally human. You are just biomasses. You are just, biological masses. You are just gray masses. And people can just manipulate you, especially people who are called leaders. That's why leaders make people follow them to do some crazy things. And that you'll be wondering, how is it that this is possible? Well, it is possible for one single reason, because people don't think. So what are the advantages of thinking? What are the benefits of, being in the here and now, putting your thinking faculty into operation? According to Henry Ford, the American industrialist, Henry Ford, the man that made the whole world to begin to dream of having a car one day. Henry Ford said, thinking is probably the hardest work there is, which is the probable reason why so few engage in it. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is the reason why which is the probable reason why so few people engage in it. That thinking is an occupation, that is a work, that is even the hardest work. That's why you see that 99% of people will prefer not to think, but just to follow the mass psychosis. So I don't want you to be in that mass psychosis. I don't want you to be in that category of people that are just living by emotions and by instincts. But I want you to be in the group of people that put their thinking faculty on. So what are the advantages that are there for you when you begin to think? What are the benefits of thinking? What are the advantages? First of all, thinking allows you to resolve problems. Thinking allows you to challenge and confront any problem and resolve them successfully. According to Albert Einstein, you all know Albert Einstein. Look, I see that you people are so focused at commenting at each other. You people are not listening to me. You are just commenting, writing, commenting on what this one said this one said that. You people should be focused at listening to me. Otherwise, I will remove all the comments. You will not be able to write comments again. You should listen here rather than writing comments to each other. Don't be distracted. That is also one of the reasons, one of the things we are doing. You are distracted when you keep on writing comment to each other's comments. That is lack of focus. You are not learning that way. You are just engaging yourself. You are just, again, that is what is called, again, living by stimulation. So when you are busy writing to each other's comment, you are being stimulated. You are allowing yourself to be distracted through stimulation. What is stimulation? Somebody does something that affects you so that you will react. You are only reacting by a touch. You are reacting to what you see. You are reacting to everything. You are like an animal, like the dogs, dogs, you see something, they run after it everywhere. Don't be like that. Be in charge of your life. Be in charge of your mind. Be in charge of yourself. If you are here to listen, control yourself so that you don't begin to react and comment at everybody's what everybody is doing. That's why you will think you listen to Pastor Sandey, but you will not take anything out and you will not change. You will not be changing if you are not listening. So, Albert Einstein says, we cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking that it was created. You cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking on which it was created. That means that if you were on this level of thinking today, let's say on this level of thinking today, when you have your problem. So as long as you are here on this level and the problem came, you are here and the problem came on that same level, because the problem is on you, you will never be able to get out of it because you are under that problem. So as long as you remain on that level of thinking, it's all about thinking. As long as you remain on that same level of thinking where the problem came to meet you, you will never be able to resolve the problem. So what do you need to do to be able to come out of the problem and to be able to resolve any problem you have? You must be able to get yourself out of that level, at that stage, that level of thinking that you are having right now. Be able to remove yourself and go all higher. So you must improve your thinking faculty. You must be able to increase your self-education. You must be able to increase your knowledge. You must be able to get some more wisdom, more understanding. So when you get more wisdom and you come up here, you are higher than the problem now. Now this is the problem. So you are now here and you are able to subdue the problem. But when you are here on the same level and you are trying to resolve your problem from that same level where you are, you know, you are just hitting against the wall and you are hitting against the ceiling. You will not be able to resolve your problem. So these are advantages of, I'm going to talk to you fully. This is nothing. I have a whole list of points that I'm going to give you about the advantages of thinking. You have to develop your thinking art and thinking capacity so much that it becomes your second nature. For example, when I first of all read the comment that was made by Henry Ford, that thinking is the hardest work and that's why few people engage in it, I was so surprised, because I was saying thinking, I thought this thinking is the easiest thing to do. For me, it was the easiest thing to do. For me, you know, because from the age of 16 or 17, no, let's say, yeah, from the age of 16, I have engaged my mind, myself in the art of thinking. I've dedicated myself to being here and now and to live consciously. And when you are a person that lives in active consciousness, when you live a conscious life, when you live consciously, you discover that it's not difficult to think. Thinking becomes your second nature. So we are supposed to develop the thinking ability in ourselves so that thinking will become our second nature. And that's why Jesus was alarmed. Jesus was somebody who had the act of thinking in order. Thinking was normal for him. He was good at constructive thinking, analytical thinking. He was good at thinking. And that's why he was always, irritated by his followers. And he was always challenging them about them not thinking enough and about them not having understanding. And that's why I'm teaching this topic, because Jesus was particular about it. Everywhere in the Bible, he kept on saying, do you have here? You do, verily, verily, I say to you. Verily, verily, I say unto you. Verily, verily, I say. That is telling us the importance that he attaches to listening and to hearing and to thinking. And all the time he's always talking about understanding. So, number two, I don't know what number. That number 2 or number 3. The next point, what the next advantage or the next benefit of thinking is the ability to think helps you to be independent, to be your own person. Because for you to even begin to think, if you take a book and you want to begin to read the book and analyze it, you can only do thinking by yourself. You can only do the act of thinking and develop the art of thinking on your own. Nobody can help you to think. Nobody can help you to develop. They could teach you to think, but the whole process of thinking, you've got to develop it yourself. So anybody that is skilled or that is, good at thinking, or anybody that develops his own thinking ability and his thinking art, anyone that is really engaged in thinking and developing the skill, that person becomes sooner or later a more independent person, independent of public opinions, independent of what other people think, because he wants to come to his own conclusion. And he's only accepting other people's opinions or other people's conclusions because he agrees with them. So thinking makes you to be your own person. Thinking makes you to own your own life. Unfortunately, too many people are alive today that don't own their own lives. They don't belong to themselves. They are not the owner of their lives. The owner of their lives is their parents, their school authority. The owner of their lives could be their teacher. The owner of their life could be their pop star or their pastor or their church, their denomination. The owner of their lives could be, whatever is in the vogue. But they are not the owner of their lives. But thinking, analytical thinking, deep thinking helps you, the art of thinking helps you to become the owner of your own life. Helps you to become the owner of your own life. The next thing that thinking does for you. Thinking helps you to become more goal-oriented. Thinking will help you to become more goal-oriented. To a thinking person, because for you to even begin to think, you must be goal-oriented. That means it is sharpening you. Take one of Pastor Sandey's books or any book and begin to think on them and read them and think on them. They focus you, a book and, thinking material, they focus your attention at a particular destination, at a particular goal. So to develop thinking habits, to develop the art of thinking is to actually be developing your wholeness, your wholesomeness, your whole personality. When you begin to think, when you have the ability to think like that, you discover that you change. Thinking changes you. The ability to think will change your personality. It will turn you to a more goal-oriented person. So because when you intentionally go and study and think, by the time you know it, in real life, you are no more swayed up and down. You are no more tossed up and down. Because you are used to focusing in your studies. You are used to focusing in your inner man. You are used to developing yourself, to be focused at developing yourself. You are used to be focused at, thinking. So that focus in thinking on thinking makes you to become a better person in life. So in real life, the same focus that you got to think, that ability becomes the focus you have for life. That gives you the ability to be able to focus at the right thing in life. So focus makes you to be a more goal-oriented person. The next thing that focus does for you, the next thing that thinking does for you, the next thing that the art of thinking does for you is that thinking helps you to develop your focus. Thinking will help you to develop your focus. The art of thinking will make you to be better focused. You become a better focused person. Because for you to think, you've got to concentrate. For you to have something to think about, to read. When you are reading, for you to even get what you are reading, you need to be able to focus. So when you develop the ability to think and to really think and be analytical, you discover that itself is developing in you a skill. And the skill is developing in you is the skill to be able to concentrate. So thinking, developing your thinking ability and the art of thinking helps you to be a more focused person. It helps you to be a more focused person. It helps you to be a person of concentration. You are able to concentrate better. You are able to concentrate better. Next thing that you gain through the art of thinking is self-control. Because as a man thinks, so he is. If you are able to get your thinking in order, you are able to control yourself. So the art of thinking helps you with self-control. When you are able to think, then you are less dependent on emotions. And when you are able to think, you are less dependent on feelings. And when you are able to think, you are able to hold back your feelings, you are able to hold back your emotions, and you are able to, control yourself better. So the art of thinking helps you to become a better person at self-control. You'll be able to control yourself better. And subsequently, the next point, when you are able to think, when you are a thinking person, when you develop your thinking skills, you will not just be able to be able to control yourself better, but you become a more disciplined person. You know, just take one decision, the decision to think, to develop your thinking ability. You will see how much that will help you in different other areas of your life, various other areas of your life. It will help you not just in controlling yourself, it will help you to become a more disciplined person. It will help you to become a more disciplined person. You know, because like for example, let's compare a thinking person to someone that is emotional. When anything happens, an emotional person just reacts by emotion. It thinks, it gets angry. But when you are a thinking person, you don't want to react like that anymore. You want to think before you say something. So it helps you with your self-control. It helps you with your discipline. It helps you with your focus. It helps you with your, clarity. That's another point. It brings clarity to you. You see the world in clear colors, not just in black and white. You are able to differentiate things that are happening and why they're happening. You're able to find reasons for things that are happening around you. Another thing that analytical thinking will give you is that analytical thinking will help you to become a more truthful person. A more truthful person to yourself. Because when you are thinking, when you are reading and you are thinking allows you to see in more clear terms where you are. You know, it's because people don't think that they don't even see their pluses and their minuses. They don't have time to think. They don't analyze themselves. But when you think and analyze yourself, you'll be able to see your strong points, your weak points. You'll be able to see where you are. So thinking helps you to discover yourself. Thinking helps you to see yourself clearly. You will not live in deception that you are who you are not. You will not be thinking. You know, there are a lot of people who are just living in illusions about themselves. They think they are so smart when they don't know anything. Many of you even tell me that. Many of you who have been listening to me, you tell me that before you began to listen to me, you thought you knew something, or that you were already up there somewhere. And that it was when you began to listen to me, then you discovered that, my, I don't know as much as I thought I know. So you are living in delusion, thinking that you are something, or you are somebody when you are really not. So, but when you think deeply, and when you seek knowledge and think deep, it's easier for you to see where you are. So thinking helps you to face the facts. Thinking helps you to face reality. For a thinking person, it's easier for them to face reality than to live in deception and in some, in whatever cooked up stories about themselves and about reality and about life. Also, another thing that thinking will do for you, that thinking helps you to be more objective. Thinking helps you to be more objective. Why does thinking help you to become more objective? Because you base your decision on facts. You base your decisions on discovered truth, on facts, on the truth, on information. But people who don't base their information on facts, on discovered truths. People who don't think base their information on emotions, Can you believe it? When I was, each time I write articles, if you see the way Nigerians, it just helps you to discover that our people don't think. If you see the way Nigerians write and they comment on my articles, you just see that people don't think. People just use emotions. And that's why people like Hitler will take advantage of people like that. Like, for example, I just released a video interview where I say why I don't blame Buhari for the current economic recession. Oh, there was no single positive or neutral comment. All the comments were just abusing me, calling me names and things. Because I was giving facts. And the people who are cursing me and calling me names, no argument. The only argument they have is that because you are not living in Nigeria, or the prices are increasing, or Naira has become this and that. That is the only argument they have. Why I am bad. But I wrote like maybe 10 pages or it was video. I spoke so many facts. I gave so many facts and arguments. Why Buhari is not to blame for it. They were not even listening to what I said. Emotions. So that is why people like Hitler will rejoice, because they could be easily manipulated. Just like when I came to you the other time and somebody was asking me, what do you think about what Bishop Oyedepo said about the South Kaduna killing? And I said, no, but Bishop Oyedepo was not saying anything about South Kaduna thinking. That was not about South Kaduna thinking. What he said was before. But people will just manipulate you. People think that, people know that masses don't think. That majority of people are just biomasses. So they went and put a 2-year-old video and put it and said it was 2 weeks old. And people will not even analyze it and realize the truth. Just like the other situation I spoke to you about the other last week, about that Apostle Suleiman. You see, he has kept quiet now. He cannot talk like that again after going to visit the police, DSS, and somebody said, no, thank God they released him. He has kept he's now behaving himself. That was why it was right for him to have been persecuted. That is why prosecuted, not persecuted, but prosecuted. That is why it was right for the government to have called him to order. So that he will stop speaking anyhow. They will know that there is government, there is order in the land. Now he has kept quiet. That is why law and order is necessary. So the ability to think is one of the greatest things Jesus brought to us. If you want, go and study places where how many times Jesus has spoken things like this. Verily, verily, I speak unto you. Verily, verily, I say unto you. What is he trying to say? He's trying to make us to think, to pay attention, to get things that he's talking about. He wants us to be deep thinkers. How many times did Jesus say, he that has ear, let him hear. He that has ear, let him hear. So that we will think. He's not talking about physical ear, he's talking about thinking faculties. He wants us to be Homo sapiens. He wants us to be thinking people. So, because if we don't think, other people will take advantage of you. If you don't think, you will just fall under mass deception. And people will take advantage of you and use you like Hitler, like Stalin, use a whole, millions of people. What a joy for rulers, that masses, that people don't think. What a joy today for churches, for church leaders, for pastors, that members don't think. In fact, there are some churches and there are some ministers that intentionally discourage their churches from thinking. They intentionally discourage their congregations from thinking. So they tell you, in fact, there are books, there are so many books that are out there that tell you that if you want to think or ask any question at all, that you are rebellious, that you are a rebel or something. So there is a whole system of captivity. It's a whole system of enslavery. And some of us have allowed the system, religion, to enslave us. Some of us have allowed, religion and bigotry to enslave us, to deceive us, to captivate our mind, and we have even mortgaged our minds to this mediocrity. That's why anything that you want to do, anything that people are doing around you, don't just be a biomasses that is just following everybody's leading. Don't just be a biomasses that is just following and doing everything everybody else is doing around you. Even up to praying and dancing in the church. Even praying in church, sometimes it's just an act in futility. A lot of prayers are just a waste of time and an insult on human intelligence. And especially some of the miracles that people are parading in churches. Don't just go there in churches and begin to applaud every kind of miracle or any kind of sensationalism. So don't let sensationalism take a hold of your common sense. Don't let, all those shouting, amen, all those things, don't let them take control of your mind. I am sure you all listen to the message that was that somebody is spreading on Facebook, right? I'm sure you all listen to this.
A new Christianity, a new way of life. Our pulpits.
Wait. I'm sure you all listen to this, right? This was an article that I wrote. The article is called Towards a New Nigeria. A small article. And this article was taken by...
You can never get something out of nothing.
This article was taken by someone and he put it, recorded something on it, which was good. So there I was talking about that the shout of amen and everything. You heard of it. Okay. I will not play it again. By the way, we need to do more of those. If you know anybody who has a good voice and a good accent, I have many articles like that we could record those things in and put the video clips and, the photographs. So if anybody is interested in doing that, especially if they're African voice, African accent, let's do many more of these things. Let's do many more of this so that we will open the eyes of people. Anyway, let me continue. What are the other advantages of analytical thinking? Analytical thinking also helps you to work on yourself. Because a lot of people who don't think, we like to analyze other people. We analyze other people most of the time. We condemn other people. We judge other people. We are abusing and accusing other people of different things. But when you are an analytical person, thinking person, you start by analyzing your own actions, your own life, your own thought process. So an analytically thinking person or a thinking person thinks about his own actions. He thinks about his own reactions. He thinks about his own thought process. He thinks about his own words that he speaks. He thinks about his own emotions and how he's able to put them under control and subjection. He thinks about, he develops the skill to look at himself from beside. Because he's thinking all the time, he's been able to develop his thinking ability so that he will be able to separate himself from his emotion, separate himself from his thinking, separate himself from what the environment is doing, and be able to judge as a neutral person. When you are a thinking person, you always have the ability to stand beside, aloof, to stand aloof of your own self. Stand aloof of your own feelings. Stand aloof of your own emotions. Stand aloof of your own bias. And be able to ask yourself some, critical questions that will enable you to take the right decision. So, analytical person, therefore, is able to improve himself, improve his own behavior, his own attitude, his own response to life, because he has developed the ability of not, identifying himself with everything going on, of not assuming that everything that comes to his mind is him, or not assuming that everything that happens, that's his own. But he has developed the skill of separating himself from whatever he's feeling so that he will be able to make, sound judgment, a thinking decision. So analytical thinking person is always trying to, take an informed decision. And the way for you to take an informed decision is always to separate yourself from, the chaos of what's going on around you, or even what's going on inside yourself, or inside your own emotion. So he's able to, and this is another point, I don't know what number now. An analytical thinking person is always more tolerant. A thinking person is more tolerant because you know that apart from your own particular point of view, that there are other points of view that you need to consider. So it makes you to be more tolerant. An analytical person or a thinking person is more patient, and he has more endurance to the opinion of others. It gives other people the second chance. A thinking person gives other people the benefit of the doubt. But someone that doesn't think, someone that is more emotional, someone that is more biomasses, instinctive person, he would have reacted by emotions or in emotions before he even realized what happened in the real sense. But when you are a thinking person, you always analyze situation around you, then analyze yourself as well. And because you know that you have to, and see, if you are a thinking person, you know that you don't just depend on your own opinion. You have to hear the opinion of 2, 3, 4, 5 sources. You need sources to be able to compare your own opinion to other things that you are hearing. But people don't think, they don't even compare their own opinion with the other sources. They don't look for sources of their opinion, and they don't look for other sources to compare their opinion with. They just think that whatever they are thinking is right. Since it's me thinking, then it's whatever I'm thinking is right. Or since I've been told this or I've been taught this, it means that whatever I've been taught or told is right. They are not challenging themselves to go and study and look for, the source of other information that will confirm what they are thinking or that will challenge their thinking. A thinking person wants to challenge himself. He wants to challenge his thinking. He wants to challenge what he has always believed to really make sure that it is the truth. Analytical person, even when he discovers that the other person is not right, focuses more on talking the facts. He focuses more on talking about facts. He focuses more on talking about truth. He focuses more on the facts and the truth rather than on a personality. So an analytical person is not particular about who did this or what did the person say, but it is more particular, is the thing right or not? Is it the truth or not? So a thinking person is more concerned about what is going on, about the facts of the matter, rather than how he feels or how somebody feels or thinking about individuals. For example, when I was talking about, the situation with Suleiman, I'm not particular about him. Like I said, it's my friend. It's not about him. I'm just talking about the thing that is happening. I'm talking about the fact, the precedence that is happening in the country that we should not allow to happen. But some people don't even want to think about the reality of what has happened, that this is wrong. They just want to think about the fact that, since it's my pastor, we don't talk. You don't touch my anointed. It's not about touching anointed. It's about, is this thing right or is not right? Is this thing healthy or is not healthy? Is this thing good for the country or is bad for the country? Is this thing good for the generality of our society or is bad for us? So it's not about who said it. It's not about, is my pastor or is not my pastor. It's about the truth. So a thinking person is more concerned about the truth, because the truth is God's opinion about situation. The truth is what things were supposed to be, the original intent, the original order of things. That's the truth. And that's what the person who is thinking wants to get to. A thinking person wants to get to the origin, the source of whatever information that is. So he wants to get to the truth. The truth is how the thing was supposed to to function, what it was supposed to be meant for, what it's supposed to, what is God's original intent for it, what's God's original understanding about it. So that's what we want to get to. So we don't want to get about, is it my church or is it my pastor? It's not about individuals. It's about the truth. So a thinking person is not afraid of offending anybody because he's standing on the side of the truth. A thinking person is more committed to the truth than is committed to individuals. He's more committed to the truth, and the truth, one person on the side of the truth is a majority. One person on the side of the truth will always win. Even if you are one alone, but you are on the side of the truth, you always win the war. There is no fight, there is no war that could destroy the war of, the opposition to truth. Truth can never be intimidated, and truth can never be fought to submission. Truth will always come back to win. So a thinking person is always thinking about getting to the source of truth, and is always more in particular about living and getting and being on the side of truth. But in our culture today, people are more concerned about public opinion. The reason you are concerned about public opinion or what people will think about you, or offending somebody or not offending people, is because you don't have the truth. Or you have the truth, but the truth doesn't mean anything to you. Or the truth doesn't support you. You don't have your reliance. You don't put your faith in the truth. The truth is not your ultimate authority. Your ultimate authority is what you think. Your ultimate authority is your feeling. Your ultimate authority is your mood. Your ultimate authority is if this thing we have, it will hurt you or not. Your ultimate authority is if this thing will be painful to you at the end of the day or not. Your ultimate authority is yourself. Your ultimate authority is your feeling. Your ultimate authority is about you feeling good. It's not about if the thing is correct or not. So you are not really on the side of the truth, and that's why you will never win. It is only one that is on side of the truth that wins all the time. So one on side of the truth is the majority. So you win because you're on the side of the truth. Truth makes you to win. It says that you shall know the truth and truth shall set you free. And the Bible also says in Psalms that all his works are established forever and ever because they were built by the truth. So it is only the truth that could be established. Only something that is built on the truth lives for time and eternity. But when you don't stand on the truth, or when you are not firm on the side of the truth, things will just be changing in your life. Your life will just be crumbling. But we are more afraid of individuals, of people, of offending people, of getting reprimanded by people, than we are afraid of getting on the opposite side of the truth. We should be more concerned and be more worried about not being on the side of the truth rather than being on the side of emotions and sensation, at least sensationalism and people's opinion. And it is only when you think and when you are a thorough thinker that you align yourself with the truth no matter what. Next point. Next thing that analytical thinking or the art of thinking will do for you is that it will help you to be more careful, to be more meticulous. A thinking person is a meticulous person because he pays attention to everything he's reading, to every word, to every phrase. He's thinking about it. So the thinking ability makes you to be more meticulous. A thinking person pays attention to every word he thinks, every word he hears, every word he speaks. He pays attention to every detail. A thinking person pays attention and cross-checks every information. A thinking person remembers details. A thinking person thinks about everything, analyzes everything. He remembers the people he talks to. He talks with, what he talks with them. He knows and notices somebody that is standing before him. He thinks about what they say. He gives attention to hear them. He hears their opinion, analyzes what they say before he replies them, and he remembers what they said. This person, a thinking person, doesn't like to miss anything. He pays attention to every detail. He wants to know the why. He doesn't just want to have information. He wants to know the reason behind it. He wants to know the details of it. So a detailed person is an analytical person. Analytical thinking will help you to be a detailed person, a more detailed person. But a more surface person is not analytical, doesn't think, doesn't analyze, doesn't even see details. Another point is an analytical thinking person is a workaholic. Analytical person is a hard worker. Because for you to begin to be analytical and for you to be a detailed person, you must be able to analyze, and it takes a long time for you to be able to, think on details, to be on precision, to be able to get the right information, to be able to question yourself. You must be able to work hard. So that is what Henry Ford said, that thinking is probably the hardest work. And that's why so few people engage in it. Because you have to be detailed, you have to analyze everything. An analytical thinking person wants to get to the source of the information. He wants to ask questions. When you are a thinking person, you ask questions. When you are a thinking person, you want to dig deeper. You are the deep that calls to the deep. Analytical person, you look for additional information. You do research. You want to cross-check everything you heard. You want to cross-check what you are thinking. You want to make sure that you are thinking right. You are thinking of the right words to use in the right situation. You are thinking of, basing your decisions on some facts. So those are some of the advantages of analytical thinking. The question I have for you is that enough for you, or should I continue? This is like half of it that I've given unto you. Let me hear your response. Should I continue to give you more reasons or more advantages, more benefits, or is enough? Since we don't meet every day anymore, but I want to hear your response. Shigo said, please continue. Ngoya said, please continue. Fumi says, yes. Shola Lamodi says, you should continue. Chris Ogedengwe, Pastor Chris said, continue. Elizabeth. Edwin said, we should continue. Steve Osareti too. Doris Ngere. Ephraim. Okay, if you say we should continue, then we should continue. Let's go. Next point. Next category of, the first category of advantages that I gave to you of benefits is about how it improves your life. That all that I said, it improves you. Analytical thinking is good for you. Now, let me tell you other things. The next point I want to make is that analytical thinking is good for your health. Analytical thinking is good for your health. Analytical thinking will help you to improve your health. Let me prove that to you. There is nothing that affects your health, your well-being, your mental well-being, physical well-being, psychological well-being than your thinking process. As a man thinketh, so he is. So he is in his soul, so he is in his body, so he is in his mind. Now, scientifically, it has been proven that 75% of all sicknesses that people have could be changed if people would change their thinking process, their way of thinking. For example, do you know that vices, things that we have not worked on ourselves, lead to sicknesses? Not necessarily, sicknesses are caused not necessarily by physical accidents or disease only. 75% of the sicknesses that there could be cured because they are connected with how we have built our lives, or how we are thinking and everything. So, for example, vices like egoism, egocentrism, selfishness. Do you know there are some diseases and sicknesses that are connected to egoism and selfishness? So there are some sicknesses that are connected just to selfishness. It's because of selfishness that you get those diseases. Selfishness will bring you to those sicknesses. Next point. Do you know someone that has an anger situation? You are always angry and always irritated. Irritation, anger, annoyance. If you are the type that is susceptible to anger, you will always, there are some sicknesses that are connected to anger. If you are the type that is always sad, depressed, there are some sicknesses that are connected to depression. If you are the type that is always irritated, irritation will bring some sicknesses to your life. So if you are the type that is always negative, always thinking negative, there are some diseases that will come to you just because of that. And so on and so forth. So that's why I say that, if you are a thinking person and you are doing everything thinking through, not just emotionally reacting, not just being an instinctive person, just being living by instinct. You are not just living by stimulation. You are not just being stimulated by everything. Because all these vices that I just mentioned now, they are as a result of stimulations. So why do you get irritated? Because somebody irritated you. Why do you get egocentric or selfish? Because, you want to protect your own space. So most of these things are as a result of instinct for self-preservation or stimulation. You have been stimulated by one negative thing or the other, so it leads to chemical imbalance in your mind. That leads to a lot of the sicknesses. So let me tell you some of the sicknesses that some of these vices will bring to your life. So when you are someone that is always angry, you are always irritated, angry, annoyed, then you have heart sickness. Anger is connected with heart attack and ulcer. So if you are the type that is always angry, you stand a chance of having heart problem. If you, especially if you keep anger and malice in your heart. If you are the type that is always negative about everything, depressed and negative about life, then you have weak immune system. Your immune system is going to be weak because you're always depressed, subdued. It will affect your immune system. You have problem with your immune system. And that means if you have problem with immune system, that means that you are going to be susceptible to a lot of sicknesses and diseases, including cancer. Then if you are someone that is always If you are someone that is always having low self-esteem, you're always talking to yourself negative, you're speaking negative to yourself, you're always talking yourself down because you are not thinking through. All these things are connected with our thinking process. When we don't think, we are living by emotions and instinct and by, stimulation. All these things are results of not thinking. So if you have low self-esteem, that will bring, and you are pessimistic in life, that will bring to sicknesses like low. It will affect the same thing. It will affect your immune system. Your immune system will be low. Your immune system will be destroyed, and you could easily fall into different sicknesses. By the way, if you have not shared this link yet, I think we need to share. Let's go ahead and share this message. Let's go ahead and share the message. Let's go and invite people and share the message as fast as possible. Please go ahead. If you have not shared the message now, let's go ahead and share it. So people who have low self-esteem, apart from the immune system problem, they also have problem with fear. They're always afraid that something negative will happen to them. And apart from the problem of fear, they also have problem with migraine and headache. These are people who have low self-esteem. They always have, I'm having a headache today. Oh, headache today, headache. People who talk negative about themselves. They're always, having some attacks like that, fear attacks. These people also have problem with stomach. They always have all kind of, either it's ulcer or it's caught or all kind of problem with their digestive system. And these people also have problem with spine, with their spine. Everybody has problem with spine, but these people they always have struggle with it. So people who are destructive in their thinking process, they are susceptible to a lot of sicknesses. But if you are, how come then analytical thinking? But if you are a thinking person, you are somebody that thinks constructively. You want to be constructive in everything you do. You want your thinking to be constructive. You want your thinking to be in line with facts. You want your thinking to be argumented. You want your thinking and your actions to be based on facts. You want your thinking and your action to be based on truth. And because you want to base your thinking, your actions on the truth, you don't just want to respond anyhow to things that are happening around you. That saves you from a lot of sicknesses. So people who are thinkers, people who are analytical, people who are constructive, they are sick less. They fall sick much less than the people who are just living by emotions and feelings and stimuli. It's scientifically proven that thinking, analytical people, they go to doctors less because they have issues less. They are not always sick less because they are used to researching things that come to them, situations that come to them. They want to think it through and research it. And they always see further. They don't just act on the immediate. They always see a few steps further before they act. They have foresight. And foresight helps them to control what's going on right now at the moment. And foresight helps them to also predict what will happen in the future. So they worry less. And they have less fear attack. So if you are not worrying, your immune system is strong. If you are not living in fear, and most of the sicknesses, they attack the immune system first. They are connected with the immune system. So when your immune system is strong, most of the sicknesses will not be able to get you. So if the act of thinking is beneficial to you in every direction. To learn to think, to develop the art of thinking, constructively thinking, analytically thinking, is good for you. To have a strong mind is a blessing. It will affect your health. You know, people who think, analytical thinking people, constructive people, they discover even information better, and they are able to use that information to improve their lives. They want to find out what is the eating habit, so they change their eating habit. You know, they discover that information because they are used to looking for information and studying. They do exercises because they know that is needed for them, because they are thinking people. They use logic. They are logically coming to the truth. Through their logical thinking, they come to the truth. They discover the truth about their health. They discover the truth about eating. They discover the truth about exercises. They discover the truth about relationship. So they are able to live a better life. That's why people like this are mostly successful people. And successful people, it's been proven that people who have money, that their lifestyle, they live a longer life than people who don't have money. That's why Europeans live longer than people in developing countries. That's why countries, the standard of living of people of countries is directly related to their living standard. I mean, to their lifespan. So people who have a high living standard, they have more money, more information, more, opportunity to study things and to, relax. They live longer than places where people just don't have money. They don't have opportunity to even, they are only living by running for survival every day. So people like that don't live for long. So people who think they have the ability to build a right lifestyle. Thinking people normally have the right lifestyle. But people who don't think, they don't have the right lifestyle. Because if they go to visit, they go to a birthday or to a party, people are drinking, they want to support them and drink. Because it's not the right lifestyle. They just do what other people are doing. But people who are thinking people, they have the right lifestyle. So, one of the best ways for you to be healthy and to remain healthy is for you to always train your mind. Train your mind through thinking. Train your mind through analytical thinking. Train your mind through critical thinking. Read. You train your mind by reading. You train your mind by cramming or remembering stuff. You train your mind by, aspiring, having a goal, aspiring for more. Okay, next point, or next category of benefit that I want to give you is that thinking helps improves your brain, the functioning of your brain. Thinking makes your brain works better. And if your brain works well, it will affect every sphere of your life. So when we analyze information, when we're able to do research, when we're able to study, when we're able to do research, study, read widely, it brings health to our brain. It fills our brain with positive energy. It makes our brain to secrete, hormones, the right hormones are giving birth to, are secreted in our brain when we read, when we exercise our brain, just like exercising. Because brain, it has been proven that brain are like muscles. That brain is like tissue, muscle tissue. So it's just like the muscles here, and also, if you do exercises, you look more healthy. People who do exercise, who work out, they look big, they look healthy. Why? Because that's just muscles. That's how muscles work. If you exercise it, it looks strong and stands. But if you don't exercise it, it falls and becomes flappy and just, and weak. So the same with the body and the same with the brain. So the way to exercise the brain is by thinking, by reading, by these things I just showed you. by remembering stuff, by cramming. One of the ways to also develop your brain, to exercise your brain, is by listening. Learning to listen very well. And when you listen, to think about what you are listening, to analyze what you are listening. But when you are, that's why I had to make the comment in the beginning that don't just be making other people's comments, because you are not focused, you are disoriented. Then it means you don't know how to listen. But when you listen and just focus on what you are listening, it develops, it fills your mind. Then you remember better what you have heard. Another way for you to develop your mind and your brain is by asking questions. So learn to ask questions to yourself and to others. Another way for you to develop your mind is through logic. Logic is 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. Is to make conclusions, is to do conclusions, to come to conclusions, to do logical conclusions. It also helps your brain to develop itself. It helps your memory. It helps your focus. Another way for you to improve your brain is to always have a goal, to be goal-oriented, to focus on a goal and pursue that goal, to always pursue an agenda, to always have a goal, a mission that you are pursuing. All these things help to develop your brain. And when your brain is well developed, then you become a more confident person. People talk about Pastor Sandey's confidence because I've developed my mind. You become a more confident person. You are less susceptible to fear if your mind is developed. You are not captivated by fear. You don't live by fear. When your mind is developed, you are full of information, what to say at the right time. Some people, they cannot say anything. They don't have information inside. They are dry, they are empty. But when your mind is developed, you always have what to say. You always know what to say and what to comment. Next point, what does analytical thinking give you? Or the art of thinking. The art of thinking also helps you to avoid mistakes. The mistakes of hasty decisions, hurried decisions, hasty decisions. Because analytical person is not hasty to take decision. Analytical person is more careful. He withdraws. He is more quick to hear than to speak. So the same thing with the decision-making process. His decision-making process is always deep. He thinks twice before he makes a decision. So the art of thinking will help you, will prevent you, will protect you from consequences of wrong decisions that could have been avoided just because you like to think about things. Next point. When you are an analytical person or a thinking person, it's easier for you to discern, it's easier for you to discern lie, deception from the truth, because you are always looking for confirmation and you are always looking for truth and for facts. So it's easier for you to avoid like things like MMM, deception, quick money schemes and things like that. So it's easier for you to avoid manipulations because you are not just doing things by emotions. So you make sure that you get your facts. You make it a part of your life to have your facts right. You ask questions. You want to see the statistics. You want to see the figures. So those things help an analytical person or a thinking person to avoid deception, schemes, and manipulations. Next point. For example, in Nigeria, I was even helping people to get, there was a time I was writing articles about MMM. There is this quick fix or quick money scheme in Nigeria. People were attacking me because they would not think. I was giving them facts. I was giving them analysis. They would not even think. They would not even listen because they are not used to taking decisions based on critical thinking. They are not used to taking decisions based on facts. They are not used to questioning. They are rather used to, just emotions, trusting their emotions and their instincts. So the art of thinking will also help you to study your Bible well and become a better Christian. Because when you study the Bible, you ask questions. And because you ask questions, you are able to get better answers and to go deeper. And when you read your Bible, you go and follow references. And you look at what other places have said, what other references are saying about what you are reading, and it makes you to get your facts right. The next thing that the art of thinking will do for you, that it will help you to be a more confident Christian. It will help you to be a more confident Christian. A Christian that is ready to defend his belief anytime, anywhere. A Christian that is ready to argue his case and to talk to anybody about his belief system. Another advantage of the art of thinking is the art of thinking always gives you options in any decision-making process. You always have more than one option because you are always used to seeking, thinking, and researching. So you always have many options, many varieties before you take a decision. It's always better to have varieties before you take a decision. Next point. Albert Einstein says, imagination is everything. Imagination is everything. Imagination, the ability to see it and imagine and fantasize and sit down and just imagine and build images. Now, the ability to build images is one of the greatest things you could have, and it's good for people who have the right side of the mind, of the brain functioning. They're able to see things in pictures. But if you develop it through what do I call it? Imagination. If you develop your imagination, that is for Albert Einstein. He believes that imagination is the key to genius. The ability to see everything in pictures. That is another thing that a thinking process will give you. Because I personally belong to the left side of the brain. That's people who think. But I develop in myself the right part of the brain to see pictures, to see imagination, because imagination is everything. The ability to see things in color and then to present them back to life. Imagination is everything. So analytical thinking will help you to develop your imagination. Next point. And the art of thinking. The art of thinking will help you to be more informed. A thinking person is a more informed person. You are more informed and you have bigger capacity. Human capacity inside yourself. So you are an informed person. A thinking person is an informed person. Next point. A thinking person is always a better professional. When you think, you are better as a professional. In any profession, in any work, you are better than most people. Shigo is saying, Pastor, I want to think like you. I think you are not alone in that. I think many people want to think like me. Elizabeth is saying, Pastor, please, how do I know which part of the brain I'm using? Just go to the internet and write left side of the brain against right side of the brain. Go to the internet and read it. I'm not a magician now, and I'm not a soothsayer. You need to study yourself. Next point, if you develop your art of thinking, you'll be able to speak better. You are not just speaking and just raining down words as if it's rain that is coming from heaven. When you are a thinking person, you are constructing every word you are saying, every sentence you are saying, all the thoughts you are saying. It's like you are constructing them, like you are constructing a house. So the art of thinking will help improve your speech, your delivery, your eloquence. Next point. A thinking person is a confident person. You are more confident because you can express yourself better. You know what you believe. You know why you believe it. And so it gives you more confidence, more self-belief. Next point, when you develop your art of thinking, you don't live in fear. You don't live in fear. Next point, when you are a thinking person, you always want to look for the best way to resolve a situation. You don't just want to resolve a situation anyhow, but you are always looking for the best way. Research. You base your life, your decisions on research. You base your decisions on research. I think we need to write a book on this, just this topic. This is like 2 or 3 books already. If you want to be the one to help me to write this book, I'm always looking for writers who want to help me write books. So if you want to be the one to help me write this book, let me know. Write to me. Write to pastor@godembassy.org. Or you could write to VIP@godembassy.org. VIP@godembassy.org. Or pastor@godembassy.org. Okay, next point is this person. If you develop your art of thinking, you will always know how to separate your emotions and your feelings from the facts, from what is really happening. I think Africans need this book, especially Africans, yes, because they are emotional. Most of them are emotional. They need to know why they must begin to be more analytical and thoughtful. Next point. A thinking person would like to always consider other people, put other people in consideration. When they take their decisions, they think about others. They don't want their decisions to hurt and to bring damage to other people's lives. Analytical thinking is beneficial to the society at large. When a society is having thinking people, that society is blessed. That society will be full of inventions. That society will be full of innovations. That society will be full of economic progress. That society will be full of understanding people. That society will be full of efficient industries and efficient businesses and companies. So analytical thinking is beneficial to individuals, beneficial to organizations, to churches, is beneficial to country. Unfortunately, the religious people make you to think that thinking is not good, it's not beneficial. But it's a misjudgment, it's a misunderstanding. Please, anyone who has not yet copied this message, if you have not yet shared the message, please go ahead and share the message. Let's go ahead and take a break and go and share the message right now. Please, even if you have shared it before, go ahead and share it again. Let's share the message many times. So when you say you have churches, and when there are churches that are discouraging people from thinking, you have to run away from that church. When churches are using fear to hold people back from thinking, you have to run away from that church. When churches are saying you are a rebel or you are a rebel or you are going to, you are this and that because you just want to ask questions and think, you know that church is not the God kind of church. God himself said, come, let us think together. So if God himself is saying, come, let us think together. So who are you, a pastor, to say people should not think? God is saying, come, let us reason together. God himself is challenging you. He's throwing you challenge that you should come and think and reason. And you are now, some pastors are now telling you that you shouldn't think or reason. Then you know that church is a false church. It's not a church from God. Another advantage of the art of thinking is that when you learn to think, you are able to see, things in perspective. You have foresight. You are able to compare what is happening now to what has happened before and to what is going to happen. You have foresight. You have hindsight and you have foresight. You have hindsight and you have foresight. Next point. An analytically thinking person can easily lead others. It's easier for you to make others to follow you. Next point, if you are an analytically thinking person, you help people to resolve issues. You are a carrier of answers, a carrier of solutions. I'm rushing, I'm giving you many points. So what I'm supposed to give you for a whole week, I'm giving you one day. Next point, an analytical person or a thinking person, can easily requalify himself, learn new skills. It's easier for a person like that to learn new skills. Thinkers are frontiers. That's what Deborah is writing. Absolutely right. You are able to go into new frontiers easily. Because you are a thinker, you become a frontier. You are in the frontier. You're always in the edge, in front. And thinking, you know, for a thinking person, you know, you don't waste time on emptiness, on frivolous things. A thinking person is more fundamental. Is more conscious of time, and he uses his time for the necessary and important things rather than just for anything. So I'm trying to make it for 2 hours. Nada когда мы закончим, когда я буду уже заканчивать, надо сразу позвонить Игорю, что пастор заканчивает, чтобы включить прямой охраны, надо сказать. Только когда я буду заканчивать. Я уже через 15 минут закончу. Через 15 минут. Можно ему сказать так. Где-то 2 часа, да, будет? 4 часа. Okay, so that's all for today. I think I have another 15 minutes or so to be able to go through your comments. And let me hear what you think about today's teaching and about this summit that we're having every Saturday. So every Saturday I'll be coming to you with this summit. And also, of course, you know, some of you have been able to be a part of the impromptu visit I do with my children. So, you know, I promised you the other time that I'll be coming with the children to you sometimes. I'm sure some of you saw the program with the children evening, so that you see how I spend time with my children. And you will see that even my time with children is based on the art of thinking and analytical everything and critical thinking, constructive thinking. Do you want to say anything about this teaching? Because people here, I can't hear them. People are not writing anything yet. Maybe you are the only one who speaks English here, so maybe we'll ask you to tell us your thinking.
Well, my thinking is I need to...
What do you think about this teaching here?
The teaching is vital to life itself, or the quality of life. Personally, I think that I have had my thinking process or my thinking ability dormant for so long, and not only that it's dormant by religion, by the participation in religion or in the church, but also as a female. I was just analyzing as you're speaking that as a female you're usually told, especially a single female, like don't talk, don't don't be too forward. Don't be a certain way if you want to get married, or if you have to humble yourself. So these are all related to analytical thinking for me, because if I can't do this, there's so many don'ts as a female, do's and don'ts that just kind of dormant the brain. And I have believed those lies, and I've disengaged in not thinking. So it's kind of heartbreaking, but for me, I'm finding solutions here, and I'm going to start recharging my brain again, because I have kind of lost it. I've lost it on the angle of religion and also the angle of being a female. Not thinking. Because I've been told that
society. Yes,
society. If everyone close, not just society at large, but even other people that are close to you, that you're single or you're a certain way in life because you're outspoken. You shouldn't be. You should be a certain. You should be. You should not speak, especially amongst men. Don't speak, or don't kind of interrupt. Don't have an opinion. As a woman, your opinion is certain things. This is your domain. Your domain is not this area. So you just kind of like abandon a certain process, and also lack of understanding as well. lack of understanding of like Bible verses when it says lean not on your own understanding. Like, okay, if I'm not going to lean on my understanding, what's the point of me even thinking at all? So, and I've heard pastors use that so many times. If you want to think about something, they use it so many times. And also, there's also a negative connotation to thinking, that because some people think to worry rather than think for solution. And so as soon as you mention the word thinking, it's actually being contracted to people that you look up to, like pastors and maybe parents. You don't do that yourself. You leave thinking to those people and for them to tell you what to do. So I have a lot of thinking to do, to go back, recharge my brain, reflect on everything that you said, really. Maybe play this over and over again and start kind of living again and engaging my brain and appreciating myself, both as a female, as a Christian, and just as a human being, not an animal, not a biomass. And try to get the confidence of studying the Bible and understanding it, thinking about the things in the Bible and asking questions. Because in terms of asking questions, I think naturally I want to ask questions, but again, I have been conditioned to not asking questions. And even though it hurts me, I think I accepted that because maybe it's easier to just be around people without you being labeled in a way that is probably negative to society. But if I've thought about it as a good thinker, I wouldn't mind. So, I mean, it's a vicious circle. So I just need to go and sit down and engage my brain with life, really.
Thank you. Okay. I thought the rain was shut. Okay. Yep. So let me read some of your comments. Bibemi says the teaching is detailed. It will keep our brains busy all through the week. Good. Ushi Amadi said, this summit is a huge blessing to me. Thank you so much, sir. Edwin said, thank you, Pastor, for giving us the opportunity to be deep thinkers. Yep, every Saturday we'll be here to talk about this. Every Saturday, 12 o'clock British time, 1 o'clock European time, 1 o'clock Nigerian time, 7 a.m. American time, Eastern time. Yep, so every day we'll be here, 2 o'clock Kyiv time, every Saturday. Every Saturday, sorry. Odafe said, thank you, sir, for your precious time. Today's teaching is a must for everyone. Tomilola Jiboku said, Pastor, we will appreciate if you can write a book concerning this topic. Definitely. Gift Blessing said, I said it, doctor is rewarding our brains. Galina said it was good. Thank you. So many wise points. Thank you. Fumi Jeboda said, such an honor and privilege to learn from you. I have been discovering a lot about myself that I did not know existed due to analytical thinking. You are truly a lifesaver. Thank you. Elizabeth Ali, thank you so much. Best mentor. Shigo Wafo, thank you, Pastor, for breaking me up to be reconstituted again. You are shifting us all from biomasses to personality. Yes, Mike Ken said, very important teaching. MJ said, wow, Pastor, I'm so blessed right now, and my eyes are really open to so many things like music in churches, so, to say the least. Great teaching. Elizabeth Ali said, I will listen over and over in order to be a great thinker. Sandra, wow, my mind is blown away. I'm a work in progress, and with your teaching, I'm getting better. Thank you so much, sir. Uju Olakwe, I used to think that I'm a thinker, but this teaching, this session has given me the impetus to go back and augment my critical, analytical thinking. Thank you, Pastor Sandey. More grace. Deborah, don't do things like, okay. She goes, this is a paradigm shift. Some brains are just waking up for the first time, even. Nkechi Temple, the benefits of analytical thinking is overwhelming. Faith Kenny, I wouldn't have thought that analytical thinking affects our health, but now I understand better. Thank you, Pastor. Jomani said, an analytical thinking person is very independent of people's opinion. Cordelia said, today's teaching was awesome and thought-provoking. I have learned a lot today. Wow. God bless you, Pastor. You are a blessing to this generation. I will start thinking now. Elizabeth says, listening to you is one of the best decisions I've made in my life. Galina said, we have to have analytical thinking to have health, wealth, and productivity. Yeah. Ronke Oyetayo said, this lady is very smart. That is Mayowa. Kevin says, amazing. Kevin King Vales, to your words. Nkechi says, realize that we are underusing and underestimating our brain. Christine says, I will always do this repeatedly. Yeah, please go and share the link again. Let's go and share the link again and again. And again, please, we have our 24-hour TV, DSA TV. Please, let's go and be sharing it. Every day, we need to be going to share the link 3 times. Every day, 3 times in a day, we need to share the DSA TV channel. Just be going there to share it 3 times a day, 3 to 5 times a day. 3 to 5 times a day. Dupe says, sir, I think we should take the responsibility of not thinking for solution, not anybody else. It is our responsibility. It would be nice if you can organize a practical lesson and let me know in time. I will be there. Yeah, I will be here every Saturday doing this, first of all. Then we have our HMT coming up in end of March to from the 29th of March to the 8th of April. Christine said, this is the best teaching ever for the first time in my life. Shigo says, the brain is the part that controls the whole body, but we have lived even ignorant of it. No one even sees with the simple eyes, but with the brain through the optic nerves. The eyes are just the outward tools. I hope and pray that we live in the active consciousness of this. Jesus spoke about our minds being open. Neki Okoro, some pastors actually preach that you should rely on the Holy Ghost to tell you what to do rather than think. This is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Deborah Cole said there is mood that you are attracted. No, I don't understand that. Olarewaju Akinola, my thinking art has been taken to a new height now. I will go and watch this summit again to really get it to be part of me. Please, Pastor, write a book about this. Thank you. Christine said, I've learned a lot from this Dr. Adelaja's teaching. I'm so blessed to be part of this family. Ojo Olakwe said, the benefits of analytical and critical thinking in spiritual and physical health, social life, and business have become more clear to me. Thank you, sir. Unwa Boeze Joseph, this teaching has helped me to recognize some strength in me which I am not aware of before. I have been thinking, but now, from now, I must become a better thinker. Thank you for this timely and powerful teaching. Laura is saying, are we having more of this, Pastor? Of course, every Saturday, 2 o'clock our time, that's 12 o'clock British time. Every Saturday I will be here. Thank you so much. My time is over. We are going to restore our live broadcast now. Maybe I should extend this for another 30 minutes to read your comments. Should I? Okay, go and tell them that. At 2:30, we'll finish at 2:30. I mean 4:30, yeah. Let me read your comments. Dupe Love said, think and live, people. Jomani said, thinking is part of the Holy Spirit's leading. Shigo said, thank you for your time. Jinad Anota said, thank you, Pastor, for this teaching. You just unlock every dormant part of my brain, especially the most needed part that has been unused for so long. Wow, it's like everybody is not been using their mind. And that's why I started with that video in the church, you see. So that, because church sometimes is helping us to be more dormant and to be more brain dead. That's why we must change that. Miranda says, thank you for the teaching, sir. Jomani said, God bless you and keep you, Pastor. Thank you. Sandra, we are so grateful, sir. What an awesome teaching. Thank you. Jane Munsaka, my job requires me to be a critical thinker, which I apply very well in my practice. But when it comes to general life with people around me, they think I'm crazy. They ask me why I have to analyze everything. Thank you so much, Pastor Adelaja. Very inspiring. Professor Daniel say, well done, sir. Ngoya Sharis, can't believe it's over already. 2 hours is over already, my dear. 2 hours is over already. But now I'm extending it by another 30 minutes, you see. But we have a lot to do. Thank you for giving us something to think for this week and beyond. Idera Nwafo said, I have a lot of thinking to start doing right now. My Jack said, God bless you, my mentor. Christine, there is a lot of things to change after I've learned today. Friend, thank you, Pastor Sandey, for sharing this very important topic. Very useful to impact and transform our lives. Deborah, your mood is affected if you can think analytically. Afolabi Victor, Dr. Adelaja, DSA, thank you for your input to make us thinkers through this platform, sir. We are really blessed. Tony Odukale, things happening in the world indeed. Young people need someone to carry them along. Thanks very well. Thanks well. The pastor in my church is like you. Thank God. Peter Olaiton, CDMI. Wow, thank God. Miranda says, I'm blessed this afternoon. The teaching is so powerful. It's so wonderful. Thank God. Emerson says, analytical and critical thinking makes us also a defense. It also enables us to gather information and set us ready to go. Thank you for the teaching. Shinwei, this teaching is helping me place my priorities in perspective. Molly, thank you, sir. Wonderful teaching. Thank you. Emi Ade, wake up call. Thanks, Dr. Adelaja. Jokel Dukoya, wow, great teaching, Pastor. I will definitely work on myself and my thinking. Shigo, I bless the day I found you. Singing. Many people are saying that now. I bless the day I found you. Rufaro, thank you, sir. I'm blown away mentally because as a single lady family, they want us not to think and want you to voice it. Not to voice it and limit yourself. Yep. Steve Osarity, thank you, Pastor, for this teaching. It's an eye-opener. Jane, empowering teaching. God bless you, Dr. Adelaja. Laura, thank you, Pastor. You have made a better person. You have made me a better person since I started listening to your undiluted truth. Practical religion, indeed. Ernest Ebong, thank you so much, Pastor, for this teaching. I will listen to it over and over again. The points are clear facts. If we practice them, our thinking faculty will be revolutionized. God bless you, mentor. Ben Okon, it is important in the practice of thinking to reflect on your life actions first and not always what others are doing. Yep. Doris Ngere, thank you, Pastor. It's a great teaching. It has really impacted my life. God bless you, sir. Amy Bobby, thank you, Pastor, for your good work to mankind. I will continue learning from you. Yetunde Omoile, the best thing that has happened to me is to think in a new way. Thank God I found you, Dr. Adelaja. Gift Amos, thank you, Doctor. My brain is almost warming out. That. Thank you for rewinding back for me or something. Fumi Jaboda, thank you, sir, for coming back to ignite our brains every week. Shigo, the church these days are making dummies out of intelligent people. Anastasia, I consider myself extremely blessed and wealthy, Pastor, with this art of thinking classes. Thank you so much. A lot of things deeply about and apply in my life. Darlene Madu, thank you so much, sir. Anytime I listen to you, something changes in my mindset. Daniel Idoko, my thinking faculty has been taken to a whole new level. Thank you, sir, for the insightful opening. God bless you, sir. Deborah Cool. Thinking helps us to take charge of our thoughts and minds. Efren Soto, no more emotional reactions, but strategic analytical thinking. Key for a better life and society transformation. Thanks, Pastor Sandey. Emmy Bobby, I really need your teachings in my life to improve my understanding and wisdom. Thanks a lot. Nkiro Jimadu, loving this. What an insight. Connecting analytical and critical thinking to our health. Wow. Joseph Oyewale, thinkers are winners. The central control center of our lives is our mind. When we apply the force of the mind, our dominion here on earth is inevitable. Thanks a million, Dr. Adelaja. We are waiting for you in South Africa. Don't use our time. Yes, South Africa people are waiting for me at 5 o'clock. So I will come back for you for the live broadcast, but we'll finish this in the next 20 minutes. And I will come back to be with South Africa for a live. It's not going to be live broadcast. It's going to be, what do you call it, conference call with South Africa at 5. Yeah, I remember you, South Africa. I will not use up your time. I will finish before then. Okay, Idera Nwafo said, now I realize that worrying is not the same thing as thinking. Meanwhile, I have to analyze everything I think about and not allow my emotion and feelings to take over my thinking. Yep. Vivian Taylor, this teaching is life-changing for me on many levels in my life. I have healthy imagination too. Yep. Chigo, one of my goals is to get to think analytically like you 24/7. Good goal. Deborah Cole, thank you, Dr. Adelaja, for knowing the functionality of our brains and choosing right. Yep. Afolabi Victor said, thinkers are thankers. Olayinka Shewa Adeyemo said, thank you, Dr. Adelaja. I have to listen to this over again in order to digest it. I thank God for connecting me with this platform. Total mind shift. Solange Daniel says, Solange Daniel. Solange. Good day, family. I can't wait to go and rewind. I was a bit busy doing almost nothing. Shay, thank you, sir. God bless you. At least I can watch this again over and over again. Yep. Yetunde, I don't understand what I've been doing all this while, but I've been seriously delivered today. I took down a lot of notes today. Thank you, my fabulous Omoile. I'm so excited about our relationship. Higher eyes in Jesus' name. Ori Moyi, Ori Yomi, we spiritualize everything in my church. Yeah, that's a problem. Mofelola, you are a God's gift for us. God bless you, sir. Deborah, the art of thinking person is an artist. The art of thinking is a person, is an artist. Adeola Disu, great and empowering teaching, sir. This is such a profound revelation. I've been in many groups where people have been conditioned not to speak out or air their opinion. The responsibility of thinking has been placed on others, like religious leaders, etc., who then come up with declarations and instructions. Wow. Yetunde said, we appreciate you so much for the teaching. Is the art of analytical thinking. It will be better our thoughts, words, and deeds. It will better our thoughts, words, and deeds. I love you to beat where it has. Okay, I love the parts where it's connected to our health. Great revelation. Shop kisses, my mentor. God bless you. Okay. Jane says, how can we connect other people who haven't heard of Dr. Sandey Adelajah? I'm in the UK, but I come from South Africa. How can you connect? Just invite them. Give them the link. Let them watch Dr. Adelaja daily, every day, 24 hours. Or let them, just invite them when I'm coming on. Everybody could be connected. You want to say anything about today's teaching? Yeah. Okay, we are going to listen to Tanya today, Tatiana. Yes, what do you think, Tatiana, about today's teaching?
Hello, guys. You know, to just to say something, to tell something about this teaching, it's not enough. It's not enough. Because to say something about this teaching, you had to go to close yourself in your apartment, yes, in solitude, and to pass it through yourself very, very deep, and then you can say something about it. Because it's too concentrated, it's too, you know, when you're sitting here, you feel like, you know, even the air is very heavy. This is how I eat the words of Pastor. I just sit and, you know, like, so, okay, but I'll try to say something. You know, the way how Pastor will start this teaching, even to teaching about thinking from the dances, you know, African dances. You had to have ability to think, to start this kind of teaching from African dance, because you know this teaches me all the years, all the time which I spend with Pastor. I try not just to hear him, but I want to get, you know, to understand the way he thinks, and this is my goal. You know, I open my secret right now. So I said, what? Pastor start his teaching from the dances? So how do I have to think to understand the things deeper? So how do I have to absorb things around me, you know, to come to this kind of conclusions? This is my goal for now. So, you know, and one of the points was of 100 points about thinking. It was about the art of thinking. It's to teach you to be God-oriented. Yes, if you remember this. So. These dances, you know, these dances show us that we are self-oriented, you know?
Or others-oriented.
Yes, or others-oriented. We just dancing before people. We are, you know, dancing around ourselves. We are shaking our bodies. We are, you know, showing how beautiful we are, and nothing at all. It's you know, it's have no any common sin with God, and at all, you know. And another thing which Pastor was mentioned before, it's about our comments, guys. I was thinking about this all the time. I said, oh, how to let them know that, wow, all these queens and kings, and hello queen, hello king, hello this, hello this, oh, I'm glad to see you. It's just stopping you from what Pastor is saying right now. If you really know, if you really think that Pastor is your mentor, if you really think that Pastor is you know, changing your life right now, how, you know, I'm sorry, but this is what was happening inside of me all these 8 months. And I praise God that a pastor is coming out now once in a week, because we need to value every word of his, you know, of pastor. To swallow and to value them, you know. And we need to, for now, it's even better, even for us. We have this elephant, you know, every Saturday, which we need to eat by pieces. So,
from Saturday to next.
Yes, from Saturday. So we had an elephant. We need to coat it in 7 parts. You know, and to eat every day a part. 7 part. So, even this one we can use in our thinking process. Even this one. And what else? I thought before I thought that this is something happened with me when everybody in church are dancing. Why I'm just hearing myself what I want to do before my God right now, and I like dances. Okay, I like dance. I like sing. I like everything about music. But church is not about music and dances. Church about God. Church about God and only about God. So these points which Pastor told us today, it's not points, 50 points. You must to close yourself in your apartment and just eat them one by one, because they're too deep to understand them from the first step, from the first time. I even stopped to write during Pastor is talking because I understood that I need to, for first time, I need to hear what he said, like eating every word. So when I'm writing something, I'm missing something. So I understood. For first time, I'm hearing like this, like my life it depends from this. Okay, this is my first time, and the second time I'm hearing this again. Then I can write my points because between you and me, guys, we. Unfortunately, we don't come back to our points that we wrote. Yes. So, isn't it will be better to hear Pastor, like we eat food for first time, and then our comments will change. That a thinking person can understand from your comments if you are thinker. If you can think, and pastor can understand if you are thinking of or not. Even me, I understand. So I know that this kind of comment like "Thank you, pastor," "God bless you, pastor," and so on. It's good. It's good enough to. Let pastor know that okay, you agree with him, but he wants to understand what is happening inside of you, what is going on, and which processes you have right now, and maybe which decisions you will make right now, which will change your life completely. For example, I have just, for today I came with I just left my phone in my room because I know this is my distraction to hear pastor. Okay, so I came and I just wrote on how to say t-shirt points what I had to do. Only.
You will listen to it again?
Yes, yes. And I will listen to it again, and I just, I will do, okay. To speak clear, I need to think clear. So, because, this is my decision. I need to speak. I'm speaker, I try to speak on the camera, and so this will help me in my profession. Okay. So how these points is help you in your real life, not just like we're listening to like, oh wow, pastor, thank you, you are genius, pastor, praise God for you, pastor. Okay, how will you change? Because you heard pastor today, and. This is my question to you. This is my maybe inspiration you will have from this, and this is how you will not lose your time. You will change in a short time if you will do this. So. If you think, I will tell in the conclusion, I will tell again. If you think that you heard pastor, it's a mistake. You didn't. You didn't. You didn't. You need to hear him at least 4 times. 4 times. This message, this particular message, you need to hear at least 4 times. Now you have on how to say, impression, and in general impression you have now. Maybe you have some emotions that I need to think, to change my way of thinking on things like this, which is good, but it's not enough to change yourself and to change your life and of course the life of others. So the next time you close yourself and hearing this again and again, at least 3 more times. So then you will be like people is commenting, oh pastor, I want to think like so this is how he started. This is how he started to think, to be who he are right now. He was closing himself in 19, 20 years in the library, and he were just reading, writing something, again and again. So this is the only way to change yourself and to be, I think, a person who will change not only himself but as I understand, people who are listening, Pastor, now, it's the people who want to change nations. Are you the people who want to change nations? Because every human being which meet with pastor, I'm sure about this. If you are not losing your mind, if you are understand what is going on, you had to be a nation changer. It's in the end of the day, you had to. You can't hear pastor and not to become someone. It's not. It's unbelievable. It's not. Then you didn't heard him. So if you heard me right now, be very careful with every word which a pastor is saying you. Just eat the word. If you think you understood, you didn't. Believe me. You didn't. Pay attention in everything and how he said. If he said, for example, like Jesus said, okay, now he all the time, verily, like Jesus said, verily, I'm telling you, yes. So you need to understand that when pastors say, now be careful. Listen to this. If he said so, you need to just not only shut up. You just need to do anything you must to do to even to stop thinking in this particular moment, just to hear him. Because you can't hear our pastor's words and think in the same time. You just for first time you must just to receive, and don't think in this time what I will do, what just receive. So 4 times, at least 4 times, messages of pastor. So we have job for all week. I think, yes, pastor, we have many job for all week. So thank you guys, thank you pastor for opportunity to share my impression of your teaching.
Thank you, Taya. Thank you, Tatiana. You want to say something? You okay? You want to say something? Okay. Let's hear what Mayowa will say. We still have 5 minutes before we finish. Yes.
I just want to talk in terms of what Pastor said, that we're not paying full attention, and that is very common. Some of the things that we actually we're challenging now and alluded to, I think we are actually the problem even with churches and what the pastors and people that we call leaders, what they do, because we allow it to happen. We allow them to do it. And this is sort of a wake-up call. This is not a time to multitask, because it's serious. It's a matter of life and death. This topic today, for me, that's how it feels. And I'm thinking that everything that have actually happened, and the way that I have been dormant, is because I allowed other people. I didn't take the responsibility for myself. I was distracted and allowed distraction. So even all the negative things that I'm complaining about, or I'm saying that church caused, there were things that I allowed. I enabled those people to do it to me. And it starts from things like this, minor things like, not paying attention, which is part of the thinking as well. Not paying attention is not thinking, because if you think well, you will pay the attention. And I'm very guilty of this. So just let us help ourselves in being mindful, always engaging our minds in what we're doing. Why am I doing it? What's the purpose? Why am I here? Why, converting our time. I'm going to be doing this with you as well. I'm going to be walking. So I'm talking to myself here. So we are the enablers, and we should just stop it. The other thing that I did notice in terms of like fasting and the things that they call in church to do, we should also think about that. Think about, why am I engaging in all this? I know Pastor has spoken about it in the past, but think and be bold. Why am I fasting for this period of time? Why is it, a pastor can come up with anything and say, we should fast for 10 days or mid, yeah, or we just need to stop this. Stop and just start thinking, please.
Why fasting?
Why fast? What's the purpose? What do I want to...
Prayer meeting.
All of it. Prayer meetings, all these fruitless engagements. We should just stop it. Yes, just stop. You're not committing any sin by not fasting with the church. Being part of a vision and the mission of the church. Stop. Does that align with your mission and your vision in life? Did God created you as a collective or as an individual? And engaging with the Bible, reading the Bible and understanding it. And if you don't understand it, ask somebody else that understand. Getting together with like-minded people that knows what they're doing, that are thinking, that are challenging you, that you're not all just doing the same thing. A trigger would be if everybody is doing the same thing, run away from that situation, run away from that environment. Just don't join in. Just even if it looks nice, it's lovely, don't join in. Be bold to be you. Be bold to stand out. And, again, repeatedly watch this. I want it every day because I'm lazy. I just want to hear new things. I want to hear new things every day. And I think what happened with Facebook is a blessing, where I'm listening every day. It's just become my food, and I'm just eating, and I'm just getting fat, but I'm not really getting up to do anything. I think this weekly sessions would actually help me. Like Tatiana said, I'm now going to start digesting everything, cutting my elephant into pieces and eating each part, making sure that I know what I'm doing and I grow. Thank you again for listening, and thank you, Pastor, for...
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, we are finishing now. Our time is over, and we cannot extend it anymore. We have live program, live broadcast. So it was nice being with you. I think this Saturday Summit is a wonderful thing. And don't forget to always go and support the DSA TV. And and go and share it 3-5 times a day. We need to share that link to the TV program. God bless you. That's the end for now. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be in church, preaching in church. And we have live broadcast from church tomorrow. So you could... join us in our live broadcast 12 o'clock in Ukraine time tomorrow. God bless. See you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye.